Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday Spotlight for December 7th, 2020. In this episode, we will find out exactly how complicated Gregg Wandsneider really is, otherwise known as Triple G. Did you know he used to wrestle, or that he once worked on a mental health call support line? Let's dig in as we find out more about this seemingly uncomplicated man. What is your name and where are you from?
My name is Greg Wandsneider, and I am from Waukesha, Wisconsin, which is a town near Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
About how far out?
About a half an hour from Milwaukee.
What is your eye condition?
Well, I am totally blind from birth. I have light perception, so I can tell the difference between light and dark. My blindness condition is a missed connection between my optic nerve and my brain.
Would you want sight if you could have it?
No, for a couple of reasons. One, I've been blind for 42 years of my life. It would just be a dramatic difference if someday I woke up and I could see. And I also have a sort of another reason for not wanting sight. I want Jesus's face to be the first face that I ever see. So.
How long have you been a member of ACB?
Oh gosh, I am a relative noob to ACB. Actually, I was talking to a friend of mine, and they were listening to a social with ACB Next Gen, and it was the first day of convention, and I basically were probing them because it sounded cool. What are you listening to? I was just listening over the phone, and it was they said it was part of the ACB convention. And immediately the next day, I signed up for the convention, found out about Next Gen, decided that I wanted to be part of it, and also looked into other affiliates that I could join. But right now, ACB Next Generation is the only affiliate that I'm a part of.
So, speaking of next gen and that you're 42, next gen's age cutoff supposedly is 40. Is that how are you a member if the cutoff age is 40?
Well, I am what they call a part of the support class or a supporting member.
Mm-hmm.
So that's any member over the age of 40. Anyone can essentially join ACB Next Gen, even if they're over 40, as a support member. So, yeah. Um, so all you have to do is pay your dues, and you can be a part of it.
So, do you have voting rights as a supporting member?
I do, yes, I have voting rights. The only thing I can't do, from my understanding, is chair a committee or hold office on the board.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Right, right. Which I'm on enough boards, so I don't really need to be part of any other boards.
What is the best thing about being in next gen?
I think the best thing about being part of NextGen is just getting to know the people involved. I really believe that young people shape our future, and I like the socials. The games are fun, and it's just fun to hang out with people generally who are kind of sort of my age. So give or take 20 years or so in some cases.
Who would you like to work with within ACB?
Oh gosh. Well, ACB has some wonderful people involved. I'm already working with Cindy Hollis, who is the membership services coordinator. And Cindy has done a wonderful job with working with the community calls. And I met with Cindy and I interviewed her for a project. And Cindy just believes in helping people feel empowered and helping people feel just like she wants people to feel like they belong and they are empowered to do things. So, Cindy is one of those people. Um, I would also like to work with ACB Radio and do something with that. The crew there seemed like a really positive group of people, and I would really like to get involved with that group. So those are just a couple of people,
What are your goals within ACB?
just to yeah, just as we talked about with next generation, to build up the and recruit and train younger people, to get younger people involved in the ACB community in general. Maybe even as young as high school and college.
What are your goals outside of ACB?
I guess my goal in I've never worded it like this before, but leave my community a better place than I found it. I just like to see people succeed. I really do. I see the best in people and so I want to bring out their best. And I'd love to be able to get back to the college where I was helping out at and work with students and talk with students and um, even pray with students. Those are the kinds of things that I'm used to doing. As far as other just wacky things on my bucket list, I said my one goal was to get a pie thrown in my face. Well, that happened last summer or 2 summers ago, actually, pre-COVID, and it was an awesome, very positive experience. But that I'd never do again. And then
Why is
I
that?
want. Just I don't know. It wasn't as thrilling as I thought it was going to be. Um, and one of my other goals is to throw out the first pitch at a Brewers baseball game. That's one thing on my bucket list. And then also, um, maybe possibly, and I know it's not going to be with Alex Trebek, sadly, because he passed away, but be on Jeopardy, whoever the new host of that show will be. I would love to be on Jeopardy someday.
They are going to have a hard time finding somebody.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard a few names in the mix, but I don't know who. I've heard LeVar Burton. I've heard a few other names, but I don't know who it's
Oh,
going to be.
LeVar would be fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. So I've heard Ken Jennings. So I don't know.
This year's national convention theme was A Path to the Future. What does that look like for ACB?
Well, I'm going to say this again. I really think it's getting the younger people involved, and actually just getting to know the talents and abilities that we have in our community. We have so many talented people and so many people with differing talents and skills, and really empowering them um, to do their best.
What makes you smile?
I really enjoy just feeling the sun outside on my face makes me smile. Um, Seeing friends in a face to face kind of way or talking to them in person makes me smile. Seeing old friends. I just yeah, I would have to say that life makes me smile. Just the joy of living each day. Like yes, each day has its own hardships, but I think knowing the fact that I have control over some things and no control over the things that I can't control.
Mm.
I think that just gives me a great peace of mind and allows me to smile more.
Are you a night owl or a lark?
I am definitely a night owl. Staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning. And actually, Desiree, I think you've been on some of those calls with me. I just feel like I think better in the morning, and or at night rather. Like, I guess in the morning, like early in the morning, 1 a.m. I definitely feel like I do my best work after about the hour of 10 p.m. So, yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's
You
just
are a night
something with me.
owl.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there an outfit or piece of clothing or style that makes you feel fabulous?
I'm not sure if it's a style, but whenever I'm wearing like branded shirts, like for instance, I graduated from Carroll University, so whenever I'm wearing a Carroll shirt, like I feel really good for some reason. Or I just got this new hoodie from one of my favorite coffee shops,
Mm.
and they just came out with new apparel, and so when I'm wearing that, it makes me feel good. Even though I mostly wear dress clothes, I don't like the thought of quote unquote dressing up like a lot of people do. I I just am not a fan of that, but I do like to feel good and
So, what you wear slacks and button downs, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Well, you're not the only one that people consider my casual wear dressed up. I'm wearing 1940s, 1950s, day dresses. That is nowadays, that really would be somebody dressing up. But 1950s, that was casual every day.
Yeah, I can
So
also tell you I've been rocking a lot of sweatpants and sweatpants and t-shirts over COVID
I think
because I can.
everybody has. I think I saw the sweatshirt you're wearing today is green.
Yes, yes.
Well, would you believe the sweater I am wearing today is also green?
Hey, we match. That's awesome. I don't know. I like the texture of sweaters. I don't own too many sweaters.
Well,
So,
you should make a point of getting some sweaters because sweaters are freaking awesome.
yes. Yes.
Is there an outfit or style of clothing you've always wanted to try?
People talk about Crocs, and I've never worn Crocs, and I know they're shoes, but I've always wanted to know what those are and try them, I guess. Other than that, um, not really. Other than maybe rocking some Crocs just to try them out, I'm not even sure that I would like them, but because I don't know what they are. But um, yeah.
Where have you traveled and or where do you want to travel to?
Ooh, I like answering this travel question. I went to Italy in 2000. That was probably one of my I don't know if it was one of my favorite trips. I've also been to Canada, and Toronto, Canada was really cool because I remember a few things about where we stayed. It was a hotel next to a shopping mall. I remember in Toronto there are hot dog vendors, or there were at least at that time, on a lot of the street corners. I remember taking a CD home by this band called the Bare Naked Ladies, and bringing it back to the United States. And I still swear to this day, I made the Bare Naked Ladies popular in the U.S. And the other thing I remember about Toronto is that the orange juice is really expensive because it's imported. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of fun memories from Italy too. Actually, my sister and I met up in Rome, Italy in 2000. My sister was traveling with international cast of Up with People, which is a musical theater performance group. She and I we didn't think we were because I was going there with a church group. we didn't think we were going to meet up, but we did, and we embraced in the middle of this open air plaza in Rome, Italy, and it was just really cool. After not seeing her for 5 or 6 months, it was really fun just to see her and be with her, and it was just kind of a chance thing that we were both in Rome at the same time. So
So, did you visit Vatican City when you were there?
yes, yes. I was actually there for World Youth Day. This was in 2000 when John Paul II was the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
And we were about 25 or 30 feet away from the Pope Mobile. So I was personally 25 or 30 feet away from the Pope
Oh,
Mobile. So that was pretty cool.
tell us about one of your craziest adventures as a blind person and how has that affected your life?
There was a summer where I was with a college group that I was a part of called InterVarsity Christian Fellowship, and we were on our way either to or back from our chapter camp. We stopped this time at a sand dune. The thing I remember about the sand dune is the terrain was very uneven and it was hard to get my footing because I felt like one of my feet, or sometimes both of my feet, were sinking in the sand. And I had a real good guide who just was really patient with me. And I told her I wanted to do it. And she kind of prepared me a little bit for what it was going to be like. And it just kind of was an experience in trust. It's funny that when you're in an experience like that, like you have to trust people and you have
Yes.
to rely on people a lot. Even though I was feeling like uneasy, and like your friends will help you through things. Yeah, I guess I kind of already knew that, but it just reaffirmed again like how helpful friends are and the importance of having friends that you can trust.
What is going to be your next adventure?
I really don't know. I would really like to go rock climbing. I think that would be really
Oh,
fun.
it's the best.
Um,
It's totally the best.
I've since COVID started, I've lost some weight, and there's a rock gym by my house, and I
Hmm.
would like to try it there. So I think that might be my next thing that I try. Oh, and I might also want to run or walk or run a marathon, but that's going to be a more long-term goal. Walking or running a marathon, that would be
Yeah,
interesting too.
when you've got less weight for those knees to handle so they don't
Right,
hurt.
exactly,
So they don't hurt
exactly.
like a son of a gun. In school, what was your worst subject?
I never was good at understanding sciencey things, and I guess history too. Like I pay a lot more attention to history now than I did back in school, and I attribute that to when you are in middle school and high school, right? You think you know everything. No offense to any middle school
But
or high
you do.
schoolers.
You do know everything then. Good to
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. No offense to any middle school or high school students who might be watching this, but um, I uh, things are get a lot more fun to learn when you grow up and you are like, oh, that's something I didn't pay attention to back when I was younger.
Do you have any hidden quirky talents?
Well, I don't know if it's hidden, especially to some in the community, but I do have a stand up comedy routine, except for when I sit down. Then it's a sit down comedy routine, which is
Hmm.
usually the case at open mics. And I tell a lot of jokes or yolks because sometimes it's breakfast time and you have to have yolks.
Mm.
Um, and I always have to work on the routine, so I always go to the fabric store to get new material for my routine. And sometimes I have to work on my delivery, but Jimmy John's or Pizza Hut won't hire me because I'm blind. So, um, but yes, so my stand-up comedy is a hidden talent, and I like to show it off once in a while. It's a way of breaking the ice, making people laugh.
What book changed your life?
I don't know if there's been one book that has changed my life. I think one of the books I remember reading my freshman year of college. Not sure this is a life changing book though, but it changed my perspective definitely, or it broadened my perspective. Was Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, and it was about one of the ones that exposed me to kind of a different culture, and it was read by the author, and she just had a really good audio like vocal presence in the book, and it was just a really good book, and I'd encourage other people to check that book out if they haven't listened to it.
Who would you love to meet in fact, fiction, or fantasy?
Hmm. I would have loved to have met Fred Rogers, just because.
Dude.
Yeah, and also in the same vein, I would have loved to meet Alex Trebek, just because he has a lot of knowledge and he seems like kind of a humorous guy to be around. So I would have loved to have met him. Who else? Um, and I guess in the same line of that, like the Pope, right? John Paul II, just he was a legacy. He did a lot of good things for a lot of people. So I guess I don't know what it says that the people I'd want to meet are all like not alive anymore, but Nelson Mandela would have been cool. I saw him in the movie Invictus, portrayed by Morgan Freeman,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was awesome. So
What gives you confidence?
honestly, I think every time I learn something new, it gives me confidence. Uh,
Dude.
I was in an organization in high school called ARCH, which stands for the Association for the Rights of Citizens with Handicaps, where I had to be on the phone a lot, and that gave me confidence in my telephone skills. Yeah, definitely learning new things gives me confidence. Um, just, I love every opportunity I get to speak publicly. That brings me confidence. So, yeah, those are just a couple of things.
What are your passions?
I'm really passionate about just getting to know people, getting to know what makes people tick. I've been doing college radio now for about 20 years and realized the past few years that radio is really a platform where you can share about things. So I've been very vocal about sharing about mental health, which is really important to me. That people,
Oh, stop
um,
right there. Mental health?
mental health.
Speaking from personal experience?
No, no. Just well, from yeah, I guess so. From like people I know, and um, and just the struggles that they've gone through and things like that. So
Oh, okay. Being someone who has had her share of mental health issues, that's what I was like, oh, okay, curiosity.
I worked on
No.
a mental health crisis line for 4 years, and I learned a lot of active listening, and that was a very helpful skill. People don't necessarily need advice all the time, they just need
Nope.
to be listened to and validated for
Yes.
their feelings.
Yes, they do.
And I'm not always the best active listener, but I try. I
Oh,
try to.
you mean you're human?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
If there were no barriers, that means financial, sight, friends, family, parents, etc., what would you be doing with your life right now?
I would be traveling around the world and motivationally speaking.
What do people not know about you?
People may not know that I wrestled for 4 years in high school.
No.
People may, yep, I sure did. I sure
Sweet.
did. I'll share one more thing. I had a mohawk in college. That was
Oh, that
pretty.
is epic.
Yep. And the girl that did it said, "I've only cut my little brother's hair before," and uh, she gave me a mohawk, and she kept saying, "I can't believe you're letting me do this," because again, she had only, and all I was looking for out of it was a free haircut, but she said, "I can't believe you're letting me cut your hair," and I kept saying, "My head feels like a peach," because it did. It wasn't one of those spiky mohawks though. It was just, a mohawk. So
Yeah, no, I know the kind.
yeah,
What skill do you wish you had, and what are the barriers to getting it?
I wish I was more web proficient and computer proficient, um, because let's just be honest, computer programmers and people who deal in websites make a lot of money. And not that that's my end goal, but it would be nice. And
Dude.
so I would need to probably take some classes in computers and web
Hmm.
design and things like that, and software engineering. And so, yeah, that's that's one thing.
So, what are the barriers?
What are the barriers? I think the biggest barriers for me doing things come from myself often. Because either lack of motivation or lack of um, just commitment, time commitment to something, things like that.
What do you wish people really understood about you?
I think I really wish people understood about me that uh, I am blind, and I feel like some people look at that sometimes as a limitation.
No, you're blind? I had no idea.
And I feel like that sometimes people look at that as a limitation. I wish people understood that I like doing the same things that people who are sighted do. A lot of my good friends understand that. That's why they're good friends. But there are people who don't understand that. So, um, yeah,
What is the strangest question anyone has ever asked you?
I speak at schools on blindness and I get a lot of strange questions. I will never forget the question that the first grader asked one time, first or second grader at a school. The question was, "How do you go to the bathroom?" And I simply turned it around on him and I said, "Well, how do you go to the bathroom?" And it just making people realize that first of all, kids what was it,
Ask the
Bill
darndest
Cos
questions.
yeah, the kids say the darndest things. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's just one of those questions that kids ask that's so innocent. So
I love that about kids.
yeah, yeah, me too.
How do you stop a compulsive talker?
Oh gosh. Well, as a Zoom host, you have the ability to mute their microphone, right? But you can't
Mm-hmm.
do that in person. I can mute them. Uh, I don't know. Feed them, offer them something to eat. Uh, give them indirect, subtle hints. Uh, that that maybe they're talking too much. Now, I do think that conversation should be reciprocal, and should be um, both people should have a part. And friendship should be reciprocal too, as far as conversation goes. So that's the kind of those are the kind of conversations I really enjoy.
Me too. Say you're at a gathering and you're sitting next to somebody you've never met. How do you start up a real conversation?
You almost need to start with small talk before you get to any deep, um, quote unquote, real conversations. I think it does start out with that, and the other person has to be open to having a conversation with you. But I think um, I'll give you an example. I went to up to someone at my church a couple of years back, and I said, "Hey, good morning. I'm, Greg. And this is something I'm struggling with today. And I don't know what led me to do that, but something that just led me to do that. And that's putting yourself out there, right? That's becoming very vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
But then the person said, well, this is something that I am struggling with today and a lot of days. And that began with a good conversation. So uh, a lot of times I think it's just listening to like your inner dialogue. And if your conscience maybe is telling you to ask a question or do something, maybe that's a sign to ask that question. So,
Is there anyone you just cannot feel empathy for?
mm, I don't know. I guess my answer to that question is I always like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and the 99th chance.
Is there anything that would make you end a friendship?
Yes, I would say that um, I've become more aware of boundaries in the past couple of years, and setting boundaries is important. And so I do think that there are times when you need to um, set boundaries or cut ties with a person, even based on what I've just said. You believe the best about people, but you can't let yourself be a complete doormat either. So I think, um, I've had to, when people are asking for more than you can give and they do it on a repeated basis, I think that's something that would over several years, I think that just gets old and would make me consider ending a friendship.
How do you like to deliver bad news? In person, by email, or by carrier pigeon?
I am the worst at giving bad news to people, and the ways that I've done it, I don't want to go into detail here. I can tell you are not necessarily good. And another thing with me is and I know this is something I need to work on, but I avoid confrontation like the plague. It depends what the news is. And I mean, I will say this, it's much more fun and exciting to talk about good news than it is to deliver bad news, right? So,
Dude. All right, last question. What would you like the ACB community to know?
Well, first of all, I would like people to know that um, it's very good and important, and I might even say easy to be involved in the community. There are many things to do, committees to serve on, um, boards to serve on. We need Zoom hosts. We need more ideas for different community calls. So if you have a topic that you're interested in, definitely propose it and or try it out as a community call, um, and see how it goes. And chances are, at least one or maybe two or maybe 10 other people might be interested in what you have to offer. So I would just tell people to get as involved as they want to be and as their schedule allows, but definitely do get involved, and especially if you are younger and uh, maybe you're a little bit worried about getting involved. It's very important that you do because we need to hear uh, everyone's voice, and everyone's voice is important.
Yes, yes, it is. Thank you for joining us for yet another Monday Spotlight. Sometimes people have a lot more to them than what they share. I encourage you to get curious and to ask questions. You never know what you may learn about someone. Next time on Monday Spotlight, we will get to listen to a man that most ladies swoon to once they hear him speak. I get to interview Next Generation Secretary Greg Limberg. If you want to support NextGen, then please give us a like. To be notified when there is another Monday Spotlight interview, then hit the subscribe button and select all notifications, and you won't miss a single notification. Have a lot more to them than what they share. Sometimes people have a lot more to them than what they share. Greg, oh, let's see if I can get his last name. Wandsneider, 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 Wandsneider. I encourage you to get curious and to ask questions. You never know what you may learn about someone. We find out how complex Greg Wandsneider, Greg Wandsneider, Greg Wandsneider, Greg Wandsneider, Greg Wandsneider. And don't forget,